Hey everybody, my name is Diane Gale and welcome to my channel, Sustainable Slow Living. Today I want to share with you how to make pasta alla Norma. Pasta alla Norma is an eggplant and pasta dish from Sicily. It's super easy to make. It is a great way to use up some of that eggplant that's available so abundantly at this time of year. And it's a dish that everyone is going to love when you put it on the table. So let's get started. I have about 2.5 pounds of eggplant, which equated to 3 kind of medium-sized eggplants, and I have sliced them into close to 1/2 inch, just about 1/2 inch rounds. You should be able to do this on a regular size cookie sheet. I discovered that, or baking sheet, baking stone, I discovered that that is something that I have not replaced in my kitchen since my move. So I am using this industrial pan today that I found upstairs in the kitchen, and it's way too big, but it's what I've got, so it's what I'm going to go with. So take your eggplant and slice it into rounds and put it on your pan. You don't have to grease your pan because you're going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil on each one of these rounds. And then you're going to put a little salt and pepper on them. And then you are going to flip them and do the same on the other side. So essentially, the oil that is on these little rounds is going to end up on the pan, and it will act as a lubricant to keep the eggplant from sticking to your pan. This is just soaking right in. Now, anytime that I've ever made this in the past, I have basted it with this olive oil. And a baster is another thing that I seem to be without today. So I'm doing it this way, by hand. And now I'm just going to take and I'm going to put a little bit of salt on each one. Not a whole bunch. And then just a little bit of pepper as well. I'm going to do the same thing with my fingers. I'm just going to spread this around on here. If you have a shaker and you use a shaker to put your salt and pepper on, you won't have to do that. Since I don't use a shaker, sometimes it clumps up a little bit, so I just like to spread it around. And now I'm going to flip each one of these rounds over, and I am going to do the same thing on the other side. So these are ready to go in the oven. I know that the way that I did it here today seems like, I mean, it's a little harder, right, without the basting and doing the salt and pepper by hand, but that's okay. I love being in touch with my food, and actually doing it by hand is a good feeling for me. If you have those tools, use them. It will work to your benefit, very obviously. This is going to go in the oven on 350 for about 30 minutes. I'm going to flip the rounds about halfway through, and then if I have a little bit of cooked rigatoni, which I will do while this is in the oven, we're going to be able to put this dish together in just minutes. So stick around until I get back and I'll show you how. Alright you guys, so I have cooked off some rigatoni. I cooked off 1 pound of rigatoni. Probably for that pound you are going to want all of this eggplant. I have roasted the eggplant just like I told you I was going to at 350 and flipped it halfway through. It took about 30 minutes. And now we're going to put together the sauce. So I have a jar of organic marinara sauce in here, and I am going to add a little bit, let's say a hefty 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. You can go between a 1/2 teaspoon and a teaspoon according to your tastes. And I'm adding about 3/4 teaspoon of dried oregano. And I'm going to add close to 1/2 cup of sliced fresh basil. Don't chop your basil, slice your basil. And then the signature cheese for pasta alla Norma is ricotta salata. I don't know if I'm saying that exactly right. Some people say ricotta. The Italians that I have worked with in this area say ricotta. And at salata, I think I'm pretty close. It's hard to mess that one up because your A's would all have the same vowel sound. Anyway, ricotta salata is aged ricotta cheese. So ricotta cheese is soft, it's kind of liquidy, and it has a bit of a sweet flavor. And ricotta salata is firm. I'm not sure because I've not been able to get my hands on it. I'm not sure if it's more like a mozzarella or like a Parmesan. But it's a firm cheese. And it's salty. Salata is salty. But it's still kind of crumbly, okay? So maybe more like feta. I mean, I'm guessing at all of this. You can look it up online. You're going to see different pictures. I had to choose a substitute. And they said that the best substitutes were, I think it was like a Parmesan, like the hard cheese, or like the ricotta, but someone suggested cottage cheese. They said not to use feta because the flavor is too strong and not salty enough. Cottage cheese is maybe not salty either. But I don't know, cottage cheese was what I chose to go with for this dish. So that's what we're going to do today. If you can get ricotta salata, please do. Let me know what it tastes like. I even tried our Italian specialty store in town, well, in the town where I used to live. It's quite a little ways from here. But no go. They didn't have it. They didn't seem to have even heard of it. So we're going to go with cottage cheese today. I've got a hefty 3/4 cup here, and then we're just going to mix this sauce together. No, I'm not going to lie, I'm doing this for the video. When the sauce is warm, it doesn't picture well, so I did not warm the sauce. You're going to want to just warm up your marinara, and then you can add your other ingredients to it cold. I mean, it's just the spices and the cheese, obviously. The warmth of the marinara should work for your final dish. Now you can toss your pasta right in this, but I'm not going to today. I am going to put my pasta on my dish. Ooh, it's going all over. As far as what kind of pasta you want to use, I like rigatoni for this. You can put it on any pasta. The pasta alla Norma is not about the pasta as much as it is about the sauce. So while I'm using rigatoni today, you don't have to. You can use any pasta that you like. Once you have your pasta dished out, you're just going to generously top it with your pasta alla Norma sauce. And then you want to put on your eggplant. This eggplant, I don't think I showed it to you. This eggplant is gorgeously golden brown. It came out absolutely perfect. You want to be really generous with your eggplant. Or at least I want to be really generous with my eggplant. And then normally you would garnish this with the ricotta salata. I'm going to garnish it with a little bit of mozzarella today. I'm not going to lie, that is mostly for the pictures. I think that the cottage cheese would not make an attractive garnish. And I would have used Parmesan, but I was so busy trying to find that specialty cheese when I was in the store that I totally forgot to pick up some Parmesan. Mozzarella is what I had in the fridge. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to garnish it with a little bit of fresh basil. Again, I don't do this at home unless like I'm treating myself to a special night because I've had a hard day, or I'm treating someone else, or, you know, serving guests. It's nice, but I don't usually go to the trouble. And you don't have to either, but you can. And there you go. That is pasta alla Norma. It's a huge serving of pasta alla Norma. As always, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to snag some pictures of this, and then you and I are going to have a taste. All right, you guys, let's try and dig into this. This dish is so huge. I want to get a nice big piece of eggplant here though, because that would kind of be the point, right? Okay, that's gonna have to do some eggplant, some cottage cheese, some basil, some sauce. It's all there. Let's try it. Absolutely delicious. Oh my goodness. If you are an eggplant lover, this is going to be like a plate of heaven for you. So good. I do so wish that I could try it with the ricotta salata cheese. The cottage cheese is great. I can see why you wouldn't want to use feta, too overpowering, but ricotta or parmesan or probably even mozzarella would work. I think I would go with cottage cheese. I think it was a good choice. Yummy. So here we are at the end of another great recipe on the channel. This recipe is part of the Cook the Garden series that I started this year. We've done some recipes and some recipe suggestions for tomatoes, zucchini, and now for eggplant. This is our second eggplant recipe, and the suggestions will be coming out to you on Wednesday. So make sure that you don't miss that. I will pick this series up again next year when the garden starts to share her bounty with us, so that this channel becomes a go-to for you to get recipes for garden fresh vegetables. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button and don't forget that notification bell so that you catch those recipes and all of the videos that I put out for you on YouTube. I hope that you're going to give this pasta alla Norma a try, and I hope that you enjoy every single bite. And as always, I am so very glad that you joined me here today. You and I will get together again, and we will do it really soon.